Absa says the latest reading reflects subdued activity in the manufacturing sector, which has yet to recover following its weak performance at the end of 2024. The majority of the indices fell in February. Business activity dropped 2.9 points, reflecting weaker demand and ongoing material supply challenges. New orders also fell as export sales slumped because of global trade tensions and lower than expected demand.
Where there's a lot of challenges, and manufacturers do point out challenges, is on the international side. Why? So you have a situation where, yes, the IMF still expects, relatively robust global growth, but because of these trade spats between the US and other countries, and no one really knows how that will lead to the secondary effects on not just on inflation but also on economic activity. That's where most of the uncertainty is, and it looks like that's where most of the pressure point is for manufacturers.
The employment index remains sticky below the 50 points mark, indicating 11 months of contraction.
In Q4, we saw employment in the sector improving, right? But when you compare the employment levels in the sector relative to where we were pre-pandemic times, they have not really recovered to those levels, right? And what manufacturers are saying here, if you look at the January and February PMI data, they are saying that do not expect us to increase employment levels in a very strong manner because business conditions remain challenging in the sector.
The PMI data also shows that cost pressures continued to mount for manufacturers because of the weaker rand, among other reasons. The index tracking expected business conditions in 6 months also declined as uncertainties around global trade, SA-US relations and the return of load shedding weighed on sentiment. Diabo Seto, SABC News, Johannesburg.